What is truly amazing is what was concurrently going on in Washington, D.C. as this snowmageddon was intensifying. Top airline and aviation CEOs were not at their offices. They were at the White House meeting with President Trump. And just as the meeting finished, this caught our eye because the timing was unbelievable. Just as the meeting broke up, news broke that one of the busiest airports in the world, New York's JFK, suddenly issued a full ground stop. All runways shut down, leaving some to question if the airline CEOs should have taken a snow check, not a rain check, but a snow check with the president. But their stocks aren't showing any negativity. Fox Business's Blake Burman live at the White House. And Blake, you can't go skiing where you are, but you and the president seem to have, at least in different ways, helped lift the markets on what we're seeing on this lower band of the Dow, the NASDAQ, and the S&P. And it involves air traffic controlling, and it involves aviation.
That's right, yes. This meeting earlier today, basically the president going after the infrastructure system as it stands, saying essentially that the FAA is obsolete and saying that, you know, there needs to be a major push toward these airports. As we know, he's talked about the need for new infrastructure, and the president basically siding with the airlines and the airline industry. Good news for that industry today, and probably what you're seeing alongside that with the markets. But also some major news, Liz, broken this afternoon by Sean Spicer just a little while ago, because it was during that meeting that the president had said that he was going to release in the upcoming weeks a plan, or at least some information, on lowering the tax burden for businesses. So I asked the White House press secretary, Sean Spicer, does it appear at this point that the business aspect of tax reform is ahead of the individual side of tax reform? And he stopped right there and really wanted to get out this message, Liz, in which he said major comprehensive tax reform on both sides is coming. Mr. Spicer saying that this will be unveiled in the upcoming weeks, and he described it, without getting into the details, as the biggest tax reform bill, or at least the biggest tax reform package since 1986. Take a listen here to Spicer as to the timing of how they hope this all works. Listen here.
But I think when you look at the segueing of that, we've got two opportunities for reconciliation this year. One is using the FY17 budget, which you can easily get Obamacare repeal and replaced on, and then you can use the FY18 budget to utilize the second opportunity at reconciliation to do comprehensive reform.
So to parse those words, Liz, here's what he's saying. Obamacare, repeal and replace fiscal year 17, which ends September 31st. Fiscal year 18, which begins October 1. At that point, that's when they will try to use reconciliation, basically a trick up there on Capitol Hill to go after tax-related items to push through this tax agenda that the president and here at the White House, they say they'll be unveiling here in the upcoming weeks.